Roseanne Cash, Eddie Vedder. It was like just a bunch of
Vedder?
people.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, played for like
Oh,
15
my husband
minutes.
loves, Dan loves Jackson Brown.
Yeah.
Nice.
I love Eddie Vedder.
But none of Hello and welcome to the NASDAQ market site in Times Square. I'm Jane King, and with me today the women from Bizzy Chicks. And let's start with Sarah Zervos, the founder of Bizzy Chicks. Also Kim Muston, Wall Street executive, early member of Bizzy Chicks as well. And Dita Bhargava, a charity founder and also a budding politician. So welcome. Thank you for joining us today. So tell me, Sarah, let's start with what is Bizzy Chicks?
So Bizzy Chicks is a network of women that I put together. They're all successful in their own lines of business, and they're very inspirational characters. And I'm harnessing their wisdom to channel through social media endeavors to help educate young women, young people overall, but specifically young women, on issues on financial literacy and to help inspire them to pursue their own careers in business.
Okay, and then Kim, why is this important? I know you're one of the early members. Why did you feel passionately about joining this?
So I've been doing my job on Wall Street for over 25 years, and early on there weren't a lot of women mentors, and I was very fortunate to have men that helped me with career advice. But when it came to things like my family, or when to have a family, or how to balance the caregiving responsibilities that women generally still bear a disproportionate share of, it was really hard to get that type of advice from men. And so as time has gone on, I have benefited from some really amazing women that really have helped me, not only with career advice, but also with all the other aspects of my life that are really important as well.
Yeah, okay. And Dita, you're also in politics and have a business background as well. How are the two interrelated?
The two are actually pretty related in terms of what you bring to the table in your analytical, negotiating, and listening skills. I am starting to learn that business experience has helped in politics. I'm not necessarily sure that you need more politics in business, though.
That's true. And you're running for state representative?
I'm running for state representative out of the state of Connecticut.
Okay.
For the 151st district.
Okay, awesome. Okay, and Sarah, it's well established adults do not have the knowledge to save. I mean, there's study after study after study that people have $1,000 saved for retirement, which is not enough to even get them through the first month. So this is something that I know Bizzy Chicks is involved with, and that is important.
Right. So, you know, there's a chicken and egg thing. The adults don't know, and therefore the children don't know. So when the children grow up, they don't know. There's very few states that actually require personal finance as part of the legislated curriculum. I mean, under 10. I think maybe it's up to 11 now. And as a result, it's left to the parents, mentors, other adults in a child's life to find out. And if they don't know or don't feel comfortable talking about it, the children never learn. And so that's one of the things we're trying to get at, especially since a lot of young people spend a lot of time on social media. I want to make it easy and fun and interesting and inspiring to catch some little finance lessons in the midst of, you know, seeing a cool, inspiring lady talk about her life.
Right, and I think, and we were talking about this a little bit before the interview, making it easy. It's intimidating and time-consuming, and there's a lot of study, and some people are like, just forget about it. I don't want to pick which funds I put my 401k money in. So how can we make that easier for people, Kim?
Yeah, I think it really just helping them to understand that they're not alone. If you look at the saving statistics for the United States in particular, there are 45% of people who have saved exactly nothing for retirement.
45%.
45%, which is a staggering number. And it used to be back when my parents were in the workforce that they had pension plans and their employer was mandating a savings program for them. And those things are really falling by the wayside. And so it's really important for people to understand that their nest egg is really in their control and in their destiny. They have to learn, and there's a lot of different avenues, including the work that Sarah is doing with Bizzy Chicks and other forums for people to get that type of education in a really, in a way that's going to be meaningful and connected with them and their learning style.
Yeah, and it's actually kind of terrifying. My dad's in his 80s. He's in a nursing home right now. He happens to be a farmer, and the farm is still generating income, so that pays for his nursing home, but there aren't very many farmers left out there. And if you don't have enough money, and I think it's, $6,000 a month or so. So it's, terrifying that so many of us are going to be there someday and we may not have any money to pay for it. Is there anything Charities can do about that, Dita?
Absolutely. Charities are big on educating everyone, including legislators and corporate leaders. I sit on the board of the Urban League of Southern Connecticut, which is an organization that helps empower African Americans, amongst others, out of the cycle of poverty, and a big part of that is financial literacy. I also started an organization in Greenwich with a few other women called the Parity Partnership, which does a lot of what we're talking about here. It educates leaders about the importance of empowering women and men to stay in the workforce and tend to families, because financial literacy and staying in the workforce go hand in hand, and charities are very good in making sure that we're educating on those fronts.
Good point. Okay, so Sarah, was there a moment when you realized, I know you've got a background in finance, was there a moment when you realized, I just have to do something about this?
Yeah, during my career, especially in my last few jobs where I did a lot of public speaking to our investors, I realized there's a wide range of knowledge and a wide range of comfort on talking about all things financial. Money creates different emotions. Some of them are fear, some of them is like uncertainty and don't talk to me about it. Sometimes it's power. But when it comes across the board, I found no one wanted to actually ask the questions. As soon as I got off a stage, the line was long. And so what I noticed, my aha moment for this was that people feel more comfortable asking women about these financial issues. And as time went on and I decided to switch careers and try to teach at a local school, I found out that, of course, no kid wants to sign up for a 2-week financial literacy course, but they do spend a lot of time on their phone. So connecting A and B, I'm like, we're going to attack this issue through women, using women's voices, and through social media.
And Kim, we talked a little bit about the importance of men being involved in this too. There's a lot of men that haven't saved anything either. This is something really that everybody has to get involved in and make this a group effort.
Absolutely. There are more and more women that are in the workforce today, and that means that the responsibilities that women had in the home are still out there and still need to be taken care of. I look at my own household. My husband is an entrepreneur, and we have different balances that have to happen. Sometimes he's doing a lot of the caregiving at home because my schedule needs him to be there for our family, and then there's flip sides when I'm doing that. And I think it really takes a good partner. And there's a lot of people, there are a lot of single parent homes, and that becomes much more difficult, and having more community around them can be helpful to them, not only for caregiving, but also for things like career advice and counsel, and trying to help them on their journey of saving and investing.
And Dita, she mentioned single parents. I know your mother was a single mom, right, and raised 3 children?
Right.
So how did that shape who you are today?
Right. So watching my mom's struggles was really the foundation of my ambition and my success. My mom couldn't give us much in terms of material goods, but she gave us encouragement every day to educate ourselves and never find ourselves in a position where we couldn't stand on our own 2 feet. So I learned at a very young age, watching my mom actually, with very little resources, put away money every week. At the age of 8, I opened my first bank account. It was one of the most proud moments of my life when I put the first $5 in, but I learned very, very soon and continued throughout my lifetime to always put money away, because having that foundation of savings, no matter what it is, not only does it give you security about yourself, it allows you to take those calculated risks, then that brings you to the next successful step in your life.
Well, and I think that's a good point too. A lot of people are scared. We all remember 2008 and 2009 very well. We lived through it, and many of us did, and the stock market scares people. But it doesn't have to be stocks. It can be CDs. They probably won't return what stocks will, but you can sleep at night but at least you're putting something away. Right, Sarah?
Absolutely. So, everyone has their own risk characteristics. you're not like your sister, you're not like your mother, you're not like your husband, you're not like your child. And so you really have to, more than anything, my advice is to get a financial planner of your own. Anybody can have one. You don't have to be a millionaire. You don't even have to have tens of thousands of dollars.
They have robo-advisors
They have
now,
robo-advisors
which
are super
actually
cheap.
kind of useful.
It's
for
very
people.
useful.
Yeah.
Just type it into the computer.
Sure.
They ask you these non-high-tech questions, and they'll get to the bottom of your needs, your wants, and where you are. Highly recommend that.
Yeah, okay, so let's talk about careers a little bit before we wrap up. So Kim, you've managed people, you've managed money, you talked a little bit about the banking world for women. How did you navigate a business that is dominated by men, frankly?
Yeah. I mean, Wall Street's a very demanding profession. There's a lot of them out there.
Sure.
And so I think, I did a lot of silly things early on. I waited 17 years to have children because I thought I couldn't take 5 minutes off of work, and I don't recommend that for women. If you're working for an organization that you feel like you can't do that, you're probably in the wrong place. Taking that time off to really bond and be with your family is really important. And so I think, just learning how that you can balance everything. There's no such thing as work-life balance. You're going to have times when your family is going to need you a lot, and you need to take time off to do that. And there's going to be times whenever you need to go full bore with your work. I kind of think of it like being on a train. And we're in New York City here, so we have subways, and sometimes you take the express because you're going really fast in your career, and sometimes you got to be on the local train. And so I think understanding when you can do that and giving yourself permission to do that, and having that kind of relationship with your superiors, your subordinates, and your peers in the industry is really helpful. And ironically, one of the lessons on that got taught to me was from my male counterparts, because I saw them being able to step off to go do things with their family that were really important and manage very successful careers. But it is a very demanding travel schedule. The hours are long, and I think you have to look at that whenever you're looking at career choices. But people shouldn't shy away from it, because it's been a great career for me, and I've had a lot of fun and learned a lot.
Yeah, and I kind of operate the philosophy, I'll figure it out. I get there and I'll figure out what I'm going to do, and I'll kind of navigate it. So, and Kim mentioned stamina, which I know is so important, especially running for office and doing charity work. And how do you keep your stamina up?
Right. Well, I work best when I'm most challenged, and of course running for office requires a lot of stamina. I have to get out there. I've knocked on over 2,500 doors, connect with my constituents, listen to what their issues are, and then while I'm listening, try and come up with the best solutions on how to address them. But every time I hear a story at a door, it just empowers me even more to keep doing what I'm doing. And I was an ex-trader and hedge fund portfolio manager and a mom of two. Multitasking is something that women have to do, and they do it well. Some women shy away from it, but I think every woman has the capability of doing it. And I think the more you challenge yourself, the more you're surprised on how much you can actually handle.
Yeah, my thing is like, those dishes are just going to stay in the sink for another day. I'm going to bed. So that's my thing. You've been to my apartment, Kim. It could be a mess. So that's just what you do. So, okay. So Sarah, finally, how can people find out more about Bizzy Chicks? How can they get involved?
So we would love to welcome more Bizzy Chicks to the network. Even if you think you're not a finance person and you run your own mosaic business, you are a business person. So you can go on our website, bizzychicks.org, bizzychicks.org. That's where all of our content's located. However, we are really focusing on Instagram, on our Facebook page, and everything gets tweeted out. So you follow us, Bizzy Chicks, and you will get little nuggets of wisdom delivered from really inspiring ladies like the two sitting next to me and you yourself.
Yeah, okay, great. And Kim, let's talk a little about kids too. We haven't talked about, but this really starts young, teaching them how to be comfortable with money and to save money and instill those habits that they don't have to buy everything that they see.
Yes. Financial literacy, it begins, think about whenever I was a kid, you could touch and feel money. Dita was talking about taking that $5 bill into the bank and opening her first account. Today, we are trying to teach our kids to be financially responsible in a world where we don't really touch money. It's more virtual. And so I think helping kids understand the benefits of working for money, saving and investing appropriately, and then giving away to make the world a better place are all really important things. And Jane and I have embarked on this great journey together. So please check out our podcast on iTunes and Google Play. Yes.
Yeah, and it's all about financial literacy
Yes.
for kids.
And it's about parents trying to help their kids navigate, because they're not getting this in school, but it's one of the most important subjects that they'll ever learn.
Well, and even those of us in the financial world still struggle. I mean, and we get tired and we're like, okay, just buy the piece of candy or whatever. You know, I mean, we all go through that, and it's just kind of a way that we all talk about it and figure out the best way to teach our kids how to handle money. So, and finally, Dita, just tell me about, like, where can somebody go to find out more about you, some of the issues you feel passionately about?
Sure. So the ParityPartnership.org is a not-for-profit that I started
say that
in
again.
Greenwich. It's the ParityPartnership.org.
Okay.
And if anyone wants to find out more about my candidacy, it's Dita, DITA 4, FOR, Greenwich.com, or they can just write to me, Dita number 4, Greenwich.com, or sorry, at gmail.com.
At gmail.com.
That's
okay,
right.
cool, great. Thank you guys so much for
Thank
sharing the
you.
story.
Thank you.
Good luck. I look forward to being a part of Bizzy Chicks and expanding and teaching people about all this stuff. So thank you, Sarah, Kim, and Dita, for joining
Thank
us
you.
today.
Thanks,
and thank you as well for joining us on Facebook Live from the NASDAQ Market site in Times Square. Have a great day.